What up, Christmas light folks? So, tonight we're going to talk about Christmas lights and we're going to talk about Money Week. So, I've seen a bunch of guys on here, whether we're in the Facebook group or on the Christmas lights here, and I see a lot of times, this is the week that your phone is going to blow up. I'm already seeing some people. I actually talked to Jason Murphy, I think it was 2 weeks ago, and I'm like, man, have you bought all your lights? You got enough lights? Oh, yeah, I got plenty of lights. And today he said, I'm out of lights. I need, who can get warm white mini lights? And so this is the week that it gets crazy. This is the week that your phone will blow up. This is the week that everybody will want to get their Christmas lights installed by Thanksgiving. And so this was the week that I would spend $2,000 to $3,000 just in AdWords alone when I did have my business. This is the week that I would open the floodgates up and I would try to book whatever I could, because I also know this was the amount of week that I'm going to get the most leads, that I could book out to about December 10th, December 15th, depending on, how stuff was. And so I know a lot of people are crazy busy. I know that I've seen some people said they already booked up. And what do? I don't have no more spots. Well, what I would do is I would start booking stuff at $15, $20 a foot. And yes, I said $20 a foot, Fred Zimmerman. And so in that way, if they want it done, then guess what? I'm gonna squeeze them into my schedule. I'm not gonna squeeze a $6 foot in there, but I will squeeze a $10, $12, $14 a foot guy in there, so that way I can have and start making that more money, so that I can do that. I was talking to Donovan this past week, and I think he's shooting to almost do $75,000 to $100,000 this week alone. And so this week is a big week here. And so it's definitely one of the weeks that is crazy for everybody, and it is nuts, and it is a lot of fun at the end of the day, but it is nuts. And so I did see this guy over here come on, Mr. Fred. How you doing, Fred? Has it been busy and crazy for you?
I'm just trying to make it through the next 2 weeks.
Just trying to make it through the next 2 weeks, huh? Did you finally get booked up? I know you were getting slow and you were giving me a hard time that you were going to have to go down to $1 a foot so that you could keep your guys busy.
Yeah, we're definitely overbooked.
And so that's what I want to hit on a little bit. Fred called me a couple weeks ago and was saying, what do I do? I'm getting slow, and I'm like, as well as I do, busy week is coming, and if we lower our prices in that point, when busy week gets here, then we filled up our schedule with a bunch of $5 and $6 a foot versus the $8 and $10 a foot. And so, and if you're like Ryan, I hear that he's doing $20 a foot. So at least he learned something right from me. I mean, he learned how to install from you, but
Yeah, he's well on his way. Yeah, he's doing what he's doing in year two, what it took me like 7 or 8 years to do.
yeah. And so and so that's the thing of getting around smart people, getting around people that are business people, and reading books and learning how the business works and learning what you need to do to be successful at the end of the day. A successful business owner is definitely something that it takes work. And I see it in the groups all the time. I see it in the groups and on my thing of, well, how do I price? Well, in Dallas, you can't get $5 a foot. You can't, and there is people in Dallas getting $6 and $8 a foot, $10 a foot. Now there a lot of people in Dallas? Absolutely, there's a lot of people in Dallas doing Christmas lights. That's kind of where the Christmas lights started at, and so there is a lot of people there, but there's people there that also make the $8 a foot and make profit and do very well. You know, and because I hear it all the time, whether it's pressure washing or it's Christmas lights. Well, you can't charge that here. There's just too much competition. Really? Or are you looking at the wrong customers? You know, and so though, and that is a business model. Don't get me wrong. I know, you know, there's companies out there that, you know, do $4 a foot, $3, $4 a foot, and they do 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 customers. You know, and that is a business model, and they make money at it. You know, it's the Walmart style versus Macy style, or, you know, the iPhone style versus the flip phones. And so those are some things that you can do. So, so you coming back off of a big job then, Fred?
Oh yeah, we finished up the commercial job today, and then we ended up doing one more residential because we made good time with the commercial job.
Now, are you coming back to Indianapolis, or are you staying up there?
Yeah, I'm headed back to Indianapolis tomorrow, so I got a couple jobs to wrap up in Connecticut, and then I'm headed back to Indianapolis.
Gotcha, gotcha. So you're coming back for Indianapolis. So is your guys booked out in Indianapolis too? Then?
Yeah, we're extremely booked up. Yeah, we're the thing is, Garland and Reese, they put you so far behind. Make sure you're charging a lot of money because, I mean, I'm spending half my day hanging Reese right now. I
Are
mean, I'm using my roof installers.
Where are you getting your reefs? Are the reefs you have are the reefs that you have, or are they stuff that you're getting in?
No, no, what? Yeah, no. These are stuff I've had in storage. But I mean, we have hundreds of customers, so I mean, it literally takes almost 2 weeks to rehang all these wreaths that we for all the installs we did in October. So,
I
and it's in prime time install, so it's kind of a waste of time.
I got you. I got you. So you actually don't hang the reefs when you do the lights in October.
They usually get mad when they got skeletons and bats and stuff hanging out their house. They have wreaths also.
So when you were slow, that would have been a good time to go hang these reefs up and stuff.
And I was slow in October. I haven't been slow since we've been in November.
Since in November, because you've been up there for what, the last week or 2 weeks now.
Yeah, yeah. We so after Halloween we have not been slow at all. I haven't even been answering my phone or taking on estimates for the last probably the last week.
I got
I'm just I got to get caught up on what I got.
you. Yeah. Um, how's stock going? How is the how's minis and warm white bulbs and all that kind of stuff on the supply side of chain things?
Us personally, we're probably gonna sell out probably I'd say sometime in the next week or two. Uh, yeah, it's and then we're trying from factory. Can you hear me?
You're kind of breaking in and out right
I
now.
think I'm cut off. Okay, I think I'm getting a little better service now.
I lost him. I was hoping I could get some of that before he left because that is definitely something that I know a lot of people are going to want to know is the supply chain of things. You know, how can we get equipment? What wire can we get? What C9s can we get? All of that kind of stuff. Um, see if that's any better.
Back. Yeah, I'm back. Yeah, I was just saying we're like having a very tough time trying to keep restocked. Yeah, Minlian's supposed to be getting more stuff, but I don't know if we're getting anything more this year.
You got any warm white minis?
Yeah, we got about a pallet left, but it's going pretty quick.
So you don't have a whole lot then.
I think we got another 2 pallets on the way, but after that, once that's gone, we're done for the season.
I got you. So when do you think you'll be out of supplies for this year?
We're already out of some stuff. If it's on the website, we still have it, but we're out of ridge clips, almost out of ground stakes. Most colors of minis we're out of. We still got some more white, but yeah, we're out of some of the C9 colors. We're out of. Yeah, I mean it's not just us. We're trying to be restocked, but it's yeah. If you need something, you probably need to load up now because it's not going to be around in a week or two.
Yeah. So I know that I've seen some people asking where they can get stock at. a lot of places are out of stock, and so them are some things that you got to remember at this time of year. This is the time of year, and it's not. This isn't the first year this happened. This happened. It seems to happen every year, but the last 2 years have just been with the whole virus and crap like that. It does take a toll on everything. So those are some things that you got to look at, and you got to plan ahead. This week, like I say, your phone is going to blow up this week. If you've done any bit of marketing, if you've done anything, your phone will melt down if you have somebody answering it every time it rings. Or you can just do like Fred and just don't answer the phone. That's good customer service too.
No, well, I got a secretary that's answering it, and so she's loading up the estimates for me to look at. That's my system. Donovan's got a better system. So next year, I'm already talking to him about getting more office staff.
To sit there and do nothing.
Hey, Ryan's doing the same thing. Ryan has stopped taking estimates.
Ryan has stopped taking estimates too?
Hey, I talked to Ryan.
Yeah.
Yeah, Donovan, everyone's booked out for weeks, so it's hard to take on estimates.
Yeah. I think, are you going to do better than you did last year?
Yeah, I will, but I'm going to be honest. My wife is really in charge of the shipping and stuff, and she used to run my install business. So I kind of taken a hit on my management side of the installs because she's more doing the shipping. Most people are very happy with the shipping we've been doing, but my wife, whatever she does, she's amazing at it. But she's decided to spearhead the shipping side of things this year.
Well, that's probably helped your marriage out a lot, though.
Yeah, she actually likes working on the shipping because it's for her it's less stressful than the actual install side of things.
That way she don't have to work with you as much.
Yeah. I can't blame her when customers mad. They're mad at me usually.
So how many crews you got working in Indianapolis right now? Just the one, or?
We got two. I had some really good guys that were working for me, but they were missionaries and they got the COVID. They were kicked out of the country because of COVID, but their country just opened again. So we lost two of my best workers this last week.
I got you.
I was like, I'll pay you extra. It's like, nah, we're going back to the mission field. Sorry.
That's funny. They want to go work for God instead of work for Fred.
Yeah,
disappointed. So this is what are your thoughts, being that this is probably the busiest week that you'll get phone calls?
So this is what I would do. If you can field the phone calls, raise your minimum. That way you can get them off the phone real quick if they're not interested. But if they're willing to, whatever, you have $1,000 minimum, whatever, and they're still saying, okay, we're interested, have them send a picture, get deposits. Because if you charge, if it's a good job, you want to make sure you get a deposit, because if someone's in the neighborhood across the street, this happens to me all the time before I start taking deposits, it's like, yeah, I'm going to do it. Well, if you wait 3 or 4 days to get it installed, they're going to have someone cheaper across the street that say, hey, we'll do it for half the price. So make sure you're getting deposits and locking them in once they buy the estimate. But if you have the manpower where you can just sit around and do some estimates, people are going to take the first estimate. Most people, we just were on a job tonight, and they were happy we were there. They just kept adding while we were there. And they said, look, we're getting, everyone on the phone is saying we have a $7,500 minimum. So we showed up, we did the job for about $4,000, and they were very happy. They thought they got a deal. We're the only ones that would show up right now because everyone's else overbooked.
Yeah, and so that's the thing right now. And it is about getting your phone to ring. It is about, answering your phone. It's about sales and getting quotes out, and and I know some guys, I've seen it this year. I've had a lot of new guys. They got busy and they staying busy. And then I've seen some guys that haven't gotten no business and they're slow, and what do I do and how do I get business? And so what I'm going to hit on is that side of things of, if you are slow, this is a time that there's things out there you can do to get yourself busy. You can, one, get on Facebook. And, I know you're watching this video or you're doing that, but this is not making you money. You've got to get out there in them Facebook groups, the mom groups and the subdivision groups and all of those things, and you got to start posting in there. That's where you got to start posting. Being in the Facebook groups under the Christmas light contractors and watching the drama go by doesn't do you no good. Or if you're in the pressure washing groups and watch the drama go by, that's not what's going to grow your business. That's not going to grow your business at all. What's going to grow your business is getting out there and getting that phone to ring. It's too late to get, if you haven't got signs, it's too late to go get signs at this point. Now, that being said, if you have a box of signs sitting in your garage because you've been too lazy to get them out, this would be a good week to get them out because they will get your phone to ring. And, it is one of those things that, if and even if you're just thinking about starting, I mean, there's been probably 100 people joining the Facebook group of everybody wanting to do Christmas lights now. This is a little late to join to start to do Christmas lights now. Now, I'm not saying you can't start it. In fact, I would tell you to go ahead and start doing Christmas lights right now. Go ahead and start getting how to do stuff, how to learn how to bulb, how to clip, how to get on a roof, and do that this year. So next year you will have time to go. That's kind of what Fred told Donovan a couple years ago is start now and don't start next year, start now. And by him doing that, he was able to get going. He didn't make a lot his first year, but he ended up making a lot after that. Same way with Jason Murphy. Jason Murphy came to my in-person class. I did a one-on-one with him, and we did it in November 12th or 15th. And that year he ended up doing $20,000. This year he's going to do almost $500,000 in Christmas lights. And that's 3 years down the road, and he's going to do $500,000 in Christmas lights. How many years did it take you to do $500,000, Fred?
Probably 11. I didn't listen to you though. I was trying to do it my own way.
And
I didn't realize people would pay what they pay. So
and everything
I was
said
severely
so far is not true.
Valuing my service.
You want some?
Yep.
And a bag of chips? What kind?
Hot barbecue. Smoking hot barbecue is what he wants.
Hey, so what you were just saying though, so I had Igor working with me. He watches your videos all the time, but I had him working with me on this big commercial job, and he sent me some of his photos. So I sent him some a lot better. I was like, hey, just post this in some of the Facebook groups and the city groups, and just say, hey, look, we've been working on this install. Don't look like you're trying to sell nothing, or maybe some videos even. And you'll have a ton of people private message. So Facebook, if it hasn't been working for you up to now, it will start working for the next 2 weeks. Just if you have any pictures at all of you working, people are going to be asking you, hey, how much can you do my house?
And that's a good point. He didn't say, that's a good point that Fred just put. He didn't say, hey, I'm putting up install. Be like, hey, this is a house we just did. Look how amazing it looks like. And people will DM you like no other at that point.
You there?
Right? Froze on me. There you come back. How many manpower does it need to do 500,000 in sales? And that was from Alex on Facebook. So Donovan did it last year with 2 crews doing working of 2 pretty much. The dude that I know, I think he has 2 crews, maybe 3. Jason does. I don't know if Jason has 3. I know he has 2 really good crews, and he just hired a roofing guy, and he brought a crew with him, and that's one of his crews, and that guy is nailing it out of the ballpark. And we're talking, this isn't in like a big city. This isn't where I'm talking about, this one is not in like Raleigh or something like this. This is in Louisville, Kentucky. You know, and then so it can definitely be done. And there's a lot of competition there. Fred has a lot of competition up there. But you know, and the key thing to being that successful is having somebody get the quotes out. That is the key part of growing a successful Christmas light business. Charging enough and getting the quotes out. That's the two hardest parts of this. The installs, yeah, you'll go crazy and you'll be ready to shoot each other by the time it's done. But if you don't have that part of it, that's the part that makes the wheels turn and get everything happen. What do you think about that, Fred? I don't know if you muted yourself. Oh, you muted yourself. Hey, you muted yourself. You muted yourself. I don't know what you did to mute yourself, but he muted himself. But you know, just remember, guys, it can be done. There, you know, it isn't rocket science. It's not. It is hard work. Don't let me say that it's not hard work. It is hard work. 100% hard work. You know what? I don't. You might be commenting over here, and I don't even have them on. But look at that. Evening. I had my comments off. Right now, our sales are 30% higher than all of last year. That is awesome, right there. You know, and then what's your thoughts on price next year? If I'm booked up already this year, should I start stocking up for next year? You could. What I would probably do is that's a good question. Let me get Fred back on here if he'll come up here. He's muted himself again. That's a good question. What's your thoughts on that? I would think about. Here's some things that you can think about. They usually always do a early buy, and so a lot of the suppliers will do an early buy, so you can buy in January or February, or you can even buy. Some of them will do it in December, and that is something that you can do. You can buy it now and get it on order, and so if you need place to get rid of money for tax reasons, that's one place you can do to get rid of money. And so you can do that, so that way you can buy those, and that way it will happen that way. So that is a good question of about next year. Um, hey, Fred, share your feelings with us. But you know, that is definitely something that you can do, is buy stock in it early, so that way when you're coming, and because you will grow next year. You will usually keep about 80% of your customers will stay with you. And so that is the important part, that yes, it's hard to get Christmas like customers, but the beautiful thing is they will stick around. And so that is the thing that you will be needing to buy more lights next year. And if you want the better price, you order them early. Now, with everything else going on, who knows if lights are going to go up, lights are going to go down, all of that good stuff. That's a big who knows. There is no guessing on that one. And since Fred is back eating like Donovan normally does, and I usually get flamed on my questions here, but what are your thoughts, Fred, on how much will stuff be this year versus next year? Did you hear me? Oh, he must be in a bad area. Who did that house behind me? That house was done by Donovan. Donovan gave me that picture. So that's where that house is. Since I needed some pictures, so he gave me some pictures, and I got a bunch of pictures, but I needed some more. So Donovan was nicely enough to help a brother out and give me some pictures. Thanks for all the videos you do, Garland. Thanks for all the videos. Do you do Garland? And if so, how do you charge for the Garland? I hate Garland. And no, but when I did charge for Garland, I would be charging about $90 a section. You're going to pay $45 to $50 a foot or for a 9-foot section of Garland. Garland is stupid high, so make sure you're charging a lot for Garland. Fred, are you going to be able to answer this question of what are prices this year versus next year?
What prices for what?
What are your thoughts on how much is stuff going to cost next year versus this year? Do you think it's going to go up? Do you think it's going to come down?
We're getting quotes from the factory already because they have price increases where preseason prices might be more than you're paying right now for bulk or for wire and stuff, which is just crazy. So I was like, are you serious? We're going to pay more for preseason than what we can buy them for now? That's just nuts. Because of copper shortages.
So the copper shortages are running up the price. Is going to run up the prices for next year.
Yeah, it's possible that spools may cost more next year, even preseason, than what we're selling them for right now.
So you might want to stock up on stuff if you can.
Well, we're trying to get more quotes from other factories. So, I mean, but right now, yeah, things are kind of crazy.
Well, that's a good. That's interesting to see that stuff is going up, and I mean, and we're still in early time, so that is definitely. Let's see. Damn, I had it 150 for Garland. Somebody, Nicholas asked, "Hey Fred, share your feelings with us."
Yeah, my feelings don't matter. I can't believe you guys charge what you charge, but I guess I get a little jealous. I guess I should have been charging what you guys charged like years ago, and I'd be driving a fancier truck by now.
So Fred is the $99 guy in Christmas lights, and we're trying to get Fred out of the $99 and get him out of that mindset, because that's what it really comes down to, is a mindset issue. You know, and so...
No, I'm not joking. The house we just came from, they said that they were calling people that had $7,500 minimums. So there's, I mean, and they were saying they couldn't get anyone to come out to their house. So that's, I mean, it depends what part of the country you're in, but people are charging a lot of money to hang lights. Actually, I got a job last week where the neighbor, I was doing one house, and the neighbor said, hey, they just got an estimate for $29,000. Do you think it could help them? So I went over, and we ended up doing the job for $6,000. I was happy with it, but I guess I mean I'd be happier with $29,000.
So Fred likes to do the Indian giving, give a lot of money back on the table and just leave it all on the pile on the table versus taking the money from the table. So
I mean, for $6,000 we did well, but yeah, I guess if I had sold it to him for $20,000, you probably thought it was a deal too.
So for $6,000, you were probably about what, $6 a foot?
Yeah, probably $7.
Oh, $7. I'm sorry, $7 a foot. And what do I tell you to charge?
Probably about 10.
$8 to $10 a foot.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan, he's saying he's charging people $20 a foot right now. It's like, that's just crazy. That means, yeah, if I was charging 20 a foot, I don't even know. I could do a quarter of the houses I'm working right
now. That's the thing I want to hit on. You know, the thing, if you're doing $20 a foot, and the thing of it is, people will come back next year and pay that same amount. That's what's crazy about this stuff. And so if they're willing to pay $20 a foot, they're willing to pay a lot of money at this point. You know, and that is crazy, and there is crazy people out there. And those are the people that we are looking for, are the crazy people with expendable money. Them are the people that are crazy. There's literally got to be something in your brain to be willing to spend $20,000. I don't have that in my brain. Fred definitely don't have that in brain. He wouldn't pay $1 a foot for somebody to come. But that's not our customer. We are not our customer. I'm not my customer. Fred's not his customer. Fred's definitely not his customer, because he wouldn't pay nothing. And so we got to find those crazy people, because it's not about installing the lights. It's about the moments that you're giving with these people. It might be the moment that it's their last Christmas with a loved one. It might be something that isn't worth could be worth way more than what money could ever be. And so, that were some things of what we're selling. We're selling emotions at the end of the day. We're not selling Christmas lights. We're selling emotions. And when we're selling emotions, and I'm not saying to, rip people off, but you know what? It's a business and profit is profit, and whether you make $100 profit or $1,000 profit, are both those bad? No. Profit is profit, and so a lot of, and I know some people can give me hell and say, well, you're just greedy. You know what? I can donate a lot of money if I have this, and I can donate to other people. I can do things with it, and I have a business. This is a business. This isn't if you want to work a charity and you want to do this for charity, that's fine. But I'm going to tell you something. This will give you a lot of gray hair, this business will, because it gets crazy. The phone's ringing off the hook. The lights are running out of stock. The lights are running out of stock. Stuff is breaking. The lift is breaking. You're up on a slick roof. You fall off. You die. You're dead. Profit don't mean nothing at that point. And so, if you're going to make money, let's make money out of this business. Hey, man, you seriously helped me out so much. I'm killing it. I'm working a full-time job and doing this on the weekend, Thanksgiving. Crazy, man. And this is the thing. This is, Ryan Culp did this last year, and he did the same thing you were doing. He was working a full-time job, and he was getting premium customers. That's the only customers he was going after was premium customers. He was going after the $10 and $12 a foot customers, and he ended up doing 68,000 last year, or was it 80,000? 68,000 last year on just a few weekends. In the week of Thanksgiving, he did install that week.
Yeah, he had a full-time job.
With the full-time job. Do you put a wreath on every home you do? We're going to quote it and try it, but not always. So.
As long as you can get access to it. At this point, it's hard to find wreaths, so I'd be careful.
Yeah. At my area, there's so many competition with Christmas lights. What's the best way I can get more customers? Answer your phone, get quotes out, and do whatever you need to do to get the phone to ring. That is the biggest thing you got to do. Whether that's yard signs, you're doing Facebook, you're doing, Google ads. It's about getting the phone to ring. Thanks. That's what I was afraid of. Let's see. Dang, I'm adding $150 for Garland. Garland is expensive, and a good Garland is really expensive. Usually it takes about 3 pieces for a door, and you're looking at $150 just in Garland itself, not including making money off of it. I'm having a hard time figuring out what to pay my helper. He always willing to work. We walk just about anything. What's your thoughts on pay for helpers to make them happy and keep them around?
What's your state's minimum wage?
That is not what to think about. What's your state's minimum wage? That's definitely not a good way to.
Hey, Luke, you ought to weigh in here, buddy.
So there's a couple different ways of doing it. I know some people will do like $1 a foot. Every foot they install, they'll get $1. I know some people that are paying a percentage, and it's 15% for the crew, and they only pay like 12 of it up front, and then give the rest of 3% or 5% on takedown. We paid by hour. You're going to pay a lot by hour because you're going to pay a lot overtime. Most of our guys were working 60, 70 hours a week, 80 hours a week. And so we paid a lot of overtime. And so our guys were making $18 to $22 to $25. So, you're just going to be paying a lot of overtime. So those are some ways that you can do it. If you do percentage, it is a fixed cost, and you will know what your money is versus doing it just the other way. Nicholas Yawls put we're selling dreams and preach, and so that is it. Yeah, so Nicholas also put $200 to $250 a day or by the foot, and even $200 a day. That's about $25 an hour, $25-$30 an hour. So that's pretty good money for a lot of people out there. Any tips for installing Garland? They are a pain in the asphalt. They are a pain in the asphalt.
Charge a lot.
Charge a lot. Clear zip ties work a lot of times, or you're going to have to do anchors into a house. So if you're doing it around doors and stuff like that, if you're doing it around columns, zip ties. And what I've found, if you're doing columns, I would almost rather do it in mini lights than do it in Garland.
Now we have Garland that we sell on our site. It's like I think it's like $60 a strand. You can go to Home Depot or whatever and buy cheap Garland, but don't be charging people $150 a strand for cheap. I know a guy that worked for me that put up really cheap Garland and pretty much got chased off the job. So if you're charging them a lot, make sure you're hanging good quality Garland.
Yeah, that tinsel don't work as Garland, and don't charge it for Garland. But I may have known a company that actually hang that stuff too, because when you can't find it and it runs out, I may have known a company to do that. But usually it was on the big fence lines that, that kind of stuff. And even then it looked like crap and we shouldn't have done it, but it was what it was. Well, Fred, being that this is kind of the busiest week that we'll probably have, what are your thoughts on Christmas lights and not going crazy?
I mean, take Thanksgiving off. I mean, you're working for your family, so I would not work Thanksgiving. Also, for people that are new and they haven't been landing a lot of jobs, if you just put out estimates this week, you're going to land jobs, because most of the people, especially the ones that know how to advertise, they're booked up. So they're not going to be able to return a lot of phone calls or even give out estimates. So a lot of times you're going to hear people right now, they're just going to be happy that they even got an estimate. So just answer your phone, put out estimates, you're going to land some crazy jobs. And you can start high and come down, but you can't really give them low bids and go up. So.
And people are willing to spend, even at this time, anybody that can get their lights up before Thanksgiving or even the week after Thanksgiving. Being that we're a little early on Thanksgiving, being that we're still that we got the rest of November, this is a little early of Thanksgiving, so that can help you too. People will be calling next week to try to get stuff up before December 1st. Once we hit after December, it will slow down. But you can stay busy till about the 10th, the 15th is where you're going to really drop off at that point. So,
but part of that is if right now you're answering the phone, putting out estimates and taking deposits. If you are ignoring your phone right now until you get caught up, when you finally get caught up the first week of December, and these people are not going to be willing to pay near as much, and there's still a couple good jobs, but right now, anyone that if you can put an estimate out and land a job right now, it's way better than trying to do it when you get caught up in a week or two.
Yep, and and I know especially if you're a one-man band, it's hard to answer that phone when you're up on that roof, and it's hard to get back to them phone calls. But if you want to keep working in December, you've got to do it, or find somebody to do it. Go find a stay-at-home mom and get the information, or somebody that wants to make a little bit of money here that you can pay to answer the phone to keep that phone going. So, but any other questions? If you got any questions, ask in either one. I know probably on Facebook it's hard to hear, but we do have 5 people over there. So definitely check. You can do that too. But I think this year was the first year I haven't done a whole lot with Christmas lights. I've been bad about not even putting up videos. I got some videos that I just got done editing and got the thumbnails, which will be coming out. And so I've always been into the rush of Christmas and always this is usually your busy weeks, and it's kind of nice not to have that stress that I have had. And so um, it is a lot of fun, and I do miss doing a lot of Christmas lights. But I tell you what else is a lot of fun for you people too that do Christmas lights. And all these Christmas lights are starting to come on. And some things that you can do is, I preach about going Facebook Live, and this is something that I did a lot. I actually had a page on my website of all the cool displays in the area, and I would share that out a lot of times. And I had all my stuff on it, and I had some of my displays in there too. And so this was another thing that you could do. But also, if you go to, like here in Cincinnati, I know Indianapolis has got a couple, and if you go do a drive-through that has the driving and all the lights, go do a live out there. Go do Facebook Live out there of, hey, look at all these amazing lights. If you need your lights hang, let me know. We do this now. Those are some things that we can do to try to get business so that way we can hammer it out. And I always did. That is one thing I always did, and I still do to this day, is go to these displays to see this. And so, I would always take my kids when they were younger. They loved it. After time, they were like, Dad, do we really got to go see another 10 lights on houses? I was like, yes, we do. And another thing is go get your pictures. You really want to get pictures. The best time of night to get pictures is right there at dusk. It's right, you still got a little daylight. It's getting dark, and that is the best time to get the pictures because you'll actually get the house behind it and the whole 9 yards. If you're gonna take your cell phone, try to do it on a tripod, so that way when you take the picture, it's not moving. Otherwise, sometimes you'll get another set of lights going up through there. And so those are some things that you can do to make sure you get good pictures and you make sure that you're able to start posting those pictures. Is that you getting a phone call? So definitely do that.
Hey, I just did want to say, I think next week we might be getting another shipment of C9. So we're out of some colors, but I think next week we're getting another shipment, another 50 or 100,000 volts.
Awesome. You guys gave us the confidence to do pro level work. We landed a $9,000 country club our first year, and they are a reoccurring customer. Thank you. That is awesome, Andrew. Andrew, what do you charge per foot? This guy made me feel like I was being too expensive, charging $200 for a roof line. That means it's probably not your customer. And be confident in your pricing. Be confident in your ability to do Christmas lights. Even if it's your first year, be confident. You got to go out there and be confident in what you do. Because if you're not confident in selling a $2,000 Christmas light, they're not going to be confident in buying that $2,000 Christmas light. And so you do have to be confident. You have to, and here's the thing. A lot of times, I see it all the time of people putting a big price on stuff and be like, well, we'll see what happens. And that's how that's some things that you can do to how you get higher income. $8 a foot's a lot of money. When you're talking, $8 a foot for 100 feet is $800. 200 feet is $1,600. That's a lot of money to a lot of people. But the people that are willing to pay it, that's not nothing for them. That's just a whatever, and they just go on. That's just the cost of living. And when people say that they're on a fixed income, those are the customer. And then you pull up and they're in a $3 million house. And that's the one that I always said is, yeah, I'm on a fixed income too. Fixed real nice is what their income is. And so that is definitely something. We look at the total project and then bid a price we feel we can get. We don't use a formula for per foot. And so I would try to use the formula because a lot of times you'll see that you might have left money on the table, and it makes things a lot easier to do that. So that's just something that you got to remember. And you got to remember, not everybody is your customer. A lot of times people will, you're going to get a lot of no's. And I've seen it in a lot of times, your first year, and if you don't know how to sell, go read some selling books. Go learn how to sell. Go read 10X by Grant Cardone. It's a good book to kind of get you boosted confidence of selling. Go read the book of The Art of Never Split the Difference. Never Split the Difference is another good book for sales and selling and not coming off your price and how to sell and all that kind of stuff. So those are two good books that you can read that will help you to sell better. I see it with some people that, their close rate sucks. They're down into the 3 and 4% range. Well, the reason why that is because they just suck at sales, And so if you suck at sales, you got to learn how to do that better. And so them are some things that you got to do. Thanks for the information. It is true. $1,000 to someone rich is nothing. And that is 100% true. If you can't answer the phone, your outgoing voicemail should point the caller to a form on the website. That's a good point, Nicholas. If you can't answer the phone, have a good form on your website that you can send them. And then if you use a service like Grasshopper or a couple other services, you can actually send a text to them that you didn't answer that will give them a link to that form to be filled out. And that way they fill that form out, and you can say, if you fill the form out, we'll get this information back to you and blah, blah, blah down the road. And so that's a great point of, if you don't answer your phone, don't just say, hey, this is Jason, I'll give you a call back. Be like, hey, this is christmaslights.io. I'm sorry we can't get to your phone. We're probably up on a roof helping Santa install lights. If you go to christmaslights.io and fill out the form there, there's a form at the bottom of the web page. So then that way I will be able to get to you as soon as I can safely look up your house and stuff. And so that way, it kind of throws it off that, hey, we're probably installing lights on a roof and we can't answer the phone. So that's a great point of that, Nicholas. I charge $500, only installed lights for 100 feet. We will do that next year just to be more consistent. One of our sales points is we don't take any vacation over the winter to ensure that you make sure your lights are up and running. Yep. Grasshopper plus Jill's office, absolutely lifesaver. And a lot of that is if that you don't get to the phone in time, it can go to Grasshopper and it will go to Jill's office, and that way they can at least answer the phone and do that for sure. Again, if you all need Christmas lights, you can go to christmaslights.io, and there will be a place for lights on there that you can use. It will take you to Fred's website. If they don't have it in stock, they don't have it on the website. And this is something that, taking care of your suppliers and buying them from suppliers. I'm going to hit on that one too. So there was somebody asking a question of, could I buy it from China? Yes, you can buy stuff from China, and I have seen people buy stuff from China, and I've seen some major disasters go wrong. Because if you have a problem when you buy it from China, you will not get a refund. You will not get your money back. You will be out a lot of money. I knew one guy, he gave like $8,000 or $10,000, and he lost $8,000 or $10,000 because he was going to try to go cheap that way. And guess what? He lost in the end. So, it is better just to buy from, and it's good to have a couple different suppliers. It ain't always to have just the one supplier. So when one runs out, you can do it. Another thing I always say is if you have a local supplier, and yes, your local supplier might be a little bit more, but if you have a local supplier that you can go pick stuff up, it can save you a lot of money in the end. Because if you got to overnight stuff and you got overnight shipping, that gets expensive, and that gets real expensive real fast. And so those are some things that we can do to help out our local guys, and a lot of times your local guys, they're going to get people asking for installers. And if you're a good local guy and a good person, they will pick you to be the installer. And so definitely check that out. Another thing is I actually started doing some website stuff. And so if you join my membership, if you join christmaslightshelp.com, or christmaslights.io and go to training. And I do have all my training on there. There, I am giving away a website that is with my membership. It is a template website, and it does pretty converting well. I know it's been up for about 2 weeks on DJ's site, and I believe it's pulled almost 40 leads in. And then on the other site that I just put up a couple days ago, he's running AdWords on it. It's already pulled almost 8 or 10 leads off of that one. So it does convert. It's not, I'm not going to say it's the 100% the prettiest, but it does convert. So definitely. And yes, incandescents are evil. I know you can try to save any money on incandescents. You're not going to save money on incandescents. That's not going to save you money. They break. They got a lot of electricity. You got to know. You'll be pulling 1, 2, 3 different from locations to try to keep with the electricity. The electricity. You can only run like this house right here. If I did this house right here in incandescent, I'd be on 2 circuits right now, because you can only run 130 bulbs on 1 circuit, and you're at 10 amps at that point. So there's no way. It's just a lot of power that you don't need. Like I say, this house here would be 2 circuits. You couldn't even run all this off on 1 circuit. This house right here right now is probably pulling about 5 amps, 4 to 5 amps, if it was lucky. The LED is just amazing on how, the callbacks. You would have a ton of callbacks on incandescents. You get a lot of callbacks on incandescents. It just makes sense. Yes, all the way around. Absolutely 100%. LEDs are just too easy. Like I say, the incandescents, yes, they're cheap, and usually you can get them for 40 cents a bulb, but they break when you take them down. They break. Then you got glass that you got to clean up, and it's just not worth it. And like I say, the biggest thing is you have to worry about pulling from different sources, and it's a nightmare. It is a nightmare. My first year doing Christmas lights in 2014, I actually did do LED bulbs, but I did incandescents on all of my minis. And I had this one lady, I went to her house 3 times trying to find different outlets on her house, because every time she'd come home and hit the garage door, it would pop her breaker and she couldn't get into her house. And so I had circuits on the back of the house and through the house, and it was a nightmare. And that was just having minis on the lights, and that wasn't even counting having the LEDs across there. So it is definitely not worth the nightmare that you will have to deal with to do incandescents. Just do LEDs and be done with it. So those are some things to think about when we're doing that stuff. But yeah, so those are some things. Like I say, you can go to christmaslights.io. There's where's my training. You can also buy lights there. It'll say buy lights, and it'll take you to Donovan. Donovan said he wasn't feeling good. I hope he's feeling better. I asked if he was overworked or sick, and he didn't respond, so I hope he's getting better. We make all our extension cords from SBT1, fish wire, and we are having trouble getting Gilbert clubs. Any sources? If you tried christmaslights.io, I don't know if they have them or not. If not, if you go to christmaslightshelp.com, and you go to some of those links, it'll take you to a different supplier. It'll take you to a different supplier that I think between those two, they should have them. If not, this is what's crazy about the end of the season, when stuff is you're trying to find stuff, and you're trying to pull everywhere you can. And this is why I always tried to have 2 or 3 different suppliers. I usually use my main guy, but I always had backups just in case because people will run out of that and people will run out of this, and it's just a nightmare sometimes. So them are definitely something you got to look at and think about. And that's not something you can get local easily. It's not like you can go to Lowe's or Home Depot to get the Vampire plugs or the plugs. You can also look Vampire or Gilbert clubs. Both of them are the same thing. if you're going to try to Google. But like I say, if you go to christmaslightshelp.com and you go to supplies and you click on any of the supplies, it'll take you there. And if they have it, if not christmaslights.I, I don't know if they don't have them or not. So I would try both of those. But, just remember that there is a lot of money to be made in Christmas lights. This is the big week. Like I say, being that we're a little early for this year, you'll have to about the end of November, and then December it's going to start slowing down. Now the problem is there's a lot of people made a lot of money in Christmas lights this year, and so a lot of supplies have went out into Christmas lights, and so just remember that when you're trying to order stuff, that there might not be a lot of stuff left. It might be about all sold out, and that's just things that you got to do and to worry about and make things happen. So, Jason, our lease the lights never sell to customer. That's correct, Alex. We really don't want to lease the lights. We're selling a service. Somebody actually asked this in the group, should we lease or rent? We're really not renting and we're really not leasing. We're really selling a full luxury service is what we're doing. Because if we rent the lights, if something happens to those lights, there's liability that can come back on you because you are renting the lights. In the same way with leasing the lights. But when we offer it as a service, it gets us out from underneath that from a legality side of things. And so, this is why we are selling a service. We're not renting the lights, because if we were renting the lights and it has a problem, then we could charge that customer to go back out there and fix the problem. And so we don't do that. So we are selling a service. We're selling a service that we're going to guarantee you Christmas lights on your house from now till January 1. And in the month of January, we will come back and get our Christmas lights. So we're not really leasing or renting. We are selling a service. We are selling an emotion, as I put earlier. We are selling dreams. We are literally selling dreams. People want to have the winter wonderland dream. That's what we're selling at the end of the day. We are selling dreams. And so these are some things that you got to look at and remember we are not selling the lights. We are not renting the lights. We are not leasing the lights. We are selling a service. And it does come down to a legality reason why we are selling a service versus renting the lights. Because renting and leasing is the same thing at the end of the day. But selling the service is more of what we're doing. So just remember that when we're selling stuff and we're doing this, that we are selling a service of Christmas lights on your home for the wintertime. Well, I hope you all learned something tonight. I hope that you all go make some more money this week so that way you can get financial freedom. You can have time freedom. I know your time freedom is not so much free right now, but if you do well now, you can have time freedom later on and not have to worry about things. And so those are some things that you can do to help you do that. Do you have I do have it in my membership is where my template is. It's not the best of one, but it is a template. It is, and it kind of goes over of making sure, and it gives making sure that the power's on and making sure that, all that kind of stuff and what we fix and what we won't fix and all of those good things. So that is definitely there. But again, like I say, you can make a lot of money right now, and it's definitely something that that you can do to be able to provide for your family. Christmas light money is crazy. Like I said earlier, there's probably not very many businesses out there that you can do $500,000 with 2-4 people and within a 4-month period. And there's people making $1 million, $2 million out there doing this exact same thing. And so there's a lot of money to be made in Christmas lights. Don't sell don't sell yourself short. Fred's been doing this at 11 years, 12, 13 years. and he didn't start making money until he started listening to me. Now, he had been listening to me for 4 or 5 years, but he never would listen to me. He would always be like, Jason don't know what he's talking about. He don't know what he's talking about. And then when I taught Fred how to, or when I taught Donovan how to do it, and Donovan hit a 500,000 last year, and he hit 200,000 year before, then he started listening, because that's what it takes to grow a Christmas light business. If you can get your phone to ring, then that's the important part. Getting your phone to ring and being the best at your craft out there. And when I say best of your craft, it don't matter if you are learning how to do the Christmas lights better, you learn how to do your sales better, learn how to do marketing, you learn it all to be the best of the craft, so that way it will make a difference in the end. Do you do sales tax? That's going to depend on per state. Every state is different, and that's going to come down to state. Usually, as a service, you're not going to have to do that, but I would check with your CPA, check with the state laws, because you don't want to get in trouble. Again, there's a lot of things you can do stupid and get away with. Playing with taxes and not paying taxes is not something that you want to do. That will send you to jail. And if you like going to jail and being around a bunch of men your whole life, that's fine, but that's not what I'm recommending you to do. I'm recommending you to make sure that you stay good on your taxes. So that is definitely something that you need to make sure that is up to date. With that said, I'm going to jump off here. Hope you all have a great night. I know I've been getting a lot of questions on my Christmas light channel and all my videos. I've been trying to answer them as much as I can. I've been getting a lot of questions, and so ask, and I will try to get back to you. Again, if you go to christmaslights.io, there's training there to teach you how to do it all. If not, my YouTube channel, I got a ton of videos about YouTube and all of that good stuff. So I hope you all have a great night. Have a happy Thanksgiving. Don't eat too much turkey, but also don't work too hard. I know there's a lot of work to be done, and you got to get it done, but you can overwork yourself. So try not to burn yourself out and killing yourself trying to get these lights up. Hope you all have a great night, and I'll see you all later.